It's no longer the newest variant, technically, but updated CDC guidance on Omicron could come at any minute. Director Rochelle Walensky took to a late-night comedy show to provide some insight into what her agency knows about Omicron. For the latest on that, let's welcome in our national correspondent, Logan Ratick, live for us in D.C. with more. Logan, good morning.
And then, John, good morning. And that new CDC guidance could come as early as today, just days after President Biden lifted travel restrictions from African countries. But there is a new variant that is believed to have originated in Cameroon that has up to 46 mutations. At least a dozen people have contracted this new variant in southern France. And President Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, isn't ruling out a CDC recommendation that would have people test negative before leaving quarantine.
People are getting concerned about why not test people at that time. I myself feel that that's a reasonable thing to do. I believe that the CDC soon will be coming out with more clarification of that, since it obviously has generated a number of questions about, at that 5-day period, should you or should you not be testing people.
And Dr. Walensky, the director of the CDC, she did not guarantee a negative test is coming, but here's what she said on Late Night with Stephen Colbert.
If you have access to a test, and if you want to do a test at day 5, and if your symptoms are gone and you're feeling well, then go ahead and do that test. But here's how I would interpret that test. If it's positive, stay home for another 5 days. If it's negative, I would say you still really need to wear a mask. You still may have some transmissibility ahead of you.
And Walensky says that Omicron is 2 to 3 times more transmissible than Delta, but the symptoms are not nearly as severe. She says it's most transmissible within the first couple of days of infection. But as for not guaranteeing a negative test for coming out of isolation, that could have something to do with the fact that across the country, there are testing shortages, so you couldn't necessarily guarantee that everyone would have a test to test negative to come out of isolation. Back to you.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.